Okay, we need to talk unicorn tears, campfire baking fat, and elementary school art room classroom. These are real whiskey tasting notes. But can you actually taste that, or is it just marketing poetry? Today we're gonna find out. By the end of this video, you're gonna know which notes are real, which ones are complete BS, and how to trust your palate. If this is your first time here, I'm Corey. I'm the president of 2 whiskey-focused nonprofits. I've done dozens of single barrels, I've hosted tons of whiskey events, and I've learned through all of that some of these tasting notes are real, rooted in science. But those super ridiculous, hyper-focused ones, that's where it gets interesting. And by the way, one of the tasting notes today is so ridiculous, over the top, you're gonna laugh out loud. We'll see if you spot it when we get there. So here's the thing about tasting notes. You may think a lot of it is complete BS, but honestly, science backs up a lot of what we taste in whiskey. Vanillin from the charred barrel gives us our caramels and our vanillas. And benzaldehyde gives us that cherry and that almond flavor profile. You'll probably recall that a lot of people attribute a cherry note to Buffalo Trace products. And so a lot of that cherry is probably coming from the benzaldehyde. And you're gonna have to forgive my pronunciations. I'm not a scientist, nor do I understand these chemical compounds. But isomyl acetate, I think is what it's called, is what gives us our banana flavor profile, right? And I'll put the words up here somewhere. So that flavor profile is actually what makes banana candy. So you're gonna notice that in a lot of Tennessee whiskeys or Brown-Forman. Old Forester is a perfect example. So if you've never been able to pull out a banana note, I'd recommend you go get something like Old Forester 100. Pour that bottle, smell it, and taste it. If you don't get that banana note, let it air out, acclimate your palate, and try again. But most people over time are gonna be able to pull that banana note because that chemical compound is literally what is used to make banana candy. So it's real, it's science. Your brain is actually smelling and tasting banana. It isn't the power of suggestion, which is what we'll get into for the other tasting notes that maybe aren't rooted in science. So to kind of recap that, when you taste oak, vanilla, caramel, cherry, that's your brain actually smelling the chemical compounds that are in the whiskey. But here's where things get interesting. In blind tastings, people describe the same exact whiskey differently when they don't know the price or the name. So a $30 bottle poured into a $100 bottle, they'll start to describe it with things like toasted pecans and fine leather, saddles, things that are way off the mark of what the whiskey actually is because of the power of suggestion. They believe those flavors are supposed to be in those expensive whiskeys. That's their brain filling the gaps. It gets even more interesting. Most of what you taste isn't taste at all. 80% of what you think you taste is actually smell. It's the ethanol rising up. So the ethanol carries the aroma molecules to your nose. And that's 80% of what you're actually experiencing as taste. Your tongue only tastes the basics, like bitter, sweet, sour, salty, umami. Everything else comes from your nose. Caramel, vanilla, all of those flavor profiles are not from your tongue, not from your mouth. They're from your nose. And that's why you'll see people swirling their glass, because it actually changes the way you smell and taste the whiskey. It's gonna open up different flavor profiles. I think ADHD Whiskey calls this a spin job or an SJ. I'm not a professional like him, so you'll have to forgive me. But either way, that is the purpose behind this glass, so you can nose it better, and opening it up. When you spin it, you're adding air and allowing that ethanol to carry those aroma molecules up to your nose so you can taste it and smell it a little bit differently. So at the end of the day, your brain is doing most of the work. And it got me thinking, how much of this is actually science-based? How much of this is actually tasting notes that are derived from the whiskey? And how much of this is the power of suggestion? Let's find out. This first one is one of the craziest tasting notes I have ever heard. And it's coming from Peerless Small Batch, all right? So it is a really good whiskey, to be honest with you. So it's nothing about the whiskey. Remember, this whole video is not to crap on any whiskeys, although there's one that we'll get there when we get there. Cool. So this is a review for Peerless Small Batch. The reviewer notes, saltwater taffy, grilled pineapple upside down cake, lavender marshmallow, and campfire baking fat. That is a lot. So first, a couple things. We're gonna taste through 4 bottles and the notes that are attributed to them and see if I can pull those notes. That's kind of the premise here. But before we do that, I wanna say just a couple things. First and foremost, thank you. This is really only my 4th or 5th video. I think it's really only my third video in all actuality. The other two were shorts that YouTube converted to long form because I don't know what I'm doing. I've spent most of my time in the whiskey industry and the bourbon industry, and then spent any time on social media, really in Instagram. I'm not a social media expert. You know, I run these whiskey nonprofits, and so this is a really nice way for me to communicate both to the people in our group and the people across the nation and the industry people that I work with. I think it was just something that I kind of fell into kind of naturally, but it is definitely not a space where I'm either proficient or comfortable, and I really am just looking to talk to you all and kind of tell you what I know, impart whatever little knowledge I have, and I'm perfectly aware that my opinions and my knowledge isn't correct all the time. It isn't for everyone, and I fully welcome that, right? But I say all that to say that I don't know what's entertaining. I don't know what you all will enjoy. So this will be a trial and error thing for me. So me tasting through 4 different glasses could be remarkably boring for you all, or it could be valuable. I don't know. So I'm going to try these things, and I appreciate your feedback. I had really, really positive feedback in the last video, and mixed in with some constructive feedback. I appreciate both. You're not going to offend me. I know who I am. I know where I'm at. And the fact that I did something wrong or my camera angle was off, that's not going to bother me. But the feedback helps. Hey, man, this was what we liked. This is what we didn't. And then I can adjust fire, because this is really not for me. I'm doing it so that I can pass along whatever little knowledge I have to the whiskey community that's given me so much. But I am not. I'm no way, shape, or form an expert at this YouTube content creation. So I wanted to put that out there. So we're going to go ahead and taste through this. The whole point of this is to see if I can pull out the notes. And I am telling you right now, I can't pull one of them. Now, what I can pull is a part of a note. It says lavender marshmallow. That I can pull. It's not the lavender, I can pull the marshmallow. And I think that's a lot of what we're gonna see today, is that those core notes are there in these descriptions, but they get a little over the top. They get a little dramatic with the notes that they're putting here, like pineapple upside down cake could have been pineapple. I think that would have been a little bit more relevant or relatable to people that are trying the whiskey, because they may be able to pull out a note like pineapple, but pineapple upside down cake is a little bit extravagant. Now, a lot of what this is creative writing, yes, but it's also the fact that people are using the power of suggestion. And their brain, when they smell and taste things, they don't know what it is. And so their recall is pulling things that they have a memory of, their closest approximation to what they're tasting and smelling. So if they're smelling their grandma's pineapple upside down cake, that's what it is to them. It's not what they're really tasting or smelling, it's what it is to them. And I think that's valuable. But the problem when reviewers and bloggers and people that are doing content creation pick up a whiskey and say, this tastes like leather back whale. I don't know. I have some notes that you were going to get into that are just off the charts weird. That's not valuable, I don't think, to the viewer or the reader or the person that's trying to make a purchase, because they're not going to taste that. That's not their recall. But I think just getting back to a little bit more general, relatable notes would be helpful for the community, in my opinion. But so I'm going to let you know right now that I don't smell or taste saltwater taffy, pineapple upside down cake, or campfire baking fat. I don't taste it. I do taste marshmallow. I have brown sugar in here. I have a little light fruit, which is maybe where the pineapple comes through. I can see that tropical fruit, but I think a tropical fruit note might give a little more breadth of things that people can pull from, right? So they're getting a lighter note, a citrusy note that may help people a little bit more than saying something super specific. So I get a citrusy note, I get marshmallow, brown sugar, oak, light on the oak actually, and a little vanilla. So I'll taste it. Oh, fantastic. Once again, this is not about the whiskey. This whiskey is fantastic. And then I get all the basic notes, oak, caramel, vanilla. I get them in varying degrees, right? And I get some other notes that I'm not going to get into because this isn't a video about all my tasting notes. So that's great. The next one is Woodford Reserve Master Collection. I believe these are some of the most overpriced products on the market. I have not had one that I've enjoyed in a very long time. The last one I had was like historic proof entry. Yeah, I'm not going to go anymore because I don't want to. That's not what this channel is about. But anyways, so okay, let me read the notes. This is the Woodford Five-Malt Stouted Mash. The official notes are mocha, Mexican mole, dried ancho chilies, and cafe cubano. That's a lot. mocha, Mexican mole, dried ancho chilies, and cafe cubano. So let's get into it. So I am smelling, okay. This is where it's a problem with a video like this. I don't like the smell of that. I don't like that. I probably won't like the taste of that. And the note that I'm getting will not be relatable to most people. So I'm gonna do the thing that I said I wouldn't do, which is give you the unrelatable note and let you know that this is probably not a whiskey that I would enjoy, and I am not getting any classic whiskey notes. What I am getting is Play-Doh. And this is an example of me personally not knowing what is going on in this glass. I'm not a big fan of these types of whiskeys. I don't taste a lot of them. I don't have a lot of experience with them. And so for me, I'm not really proficient at pulling flavors from a whiskey like this. So I'll own that part. So my brain doesn't know what to do with the flavor profile, the smell. And so I'm smelling Play-Doh. That's the closest approximation that my brain can pull. And for those of you that have had this, like I said, I just opened it. For those of you that have had this, what notes do you get? Because that is a very wild note. But anyways, I don't know.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Okay, so that's not a whiskey I would ever give to anybody. But I honestly get a little bit dried. I don't know if they're dried. I get chili. I get spice. Once again, power of suggestion. So out of all those notes, mocha, Mexican mole, dried ancho chilies, and cafe cubano, the only thing I get is chili. I'm saying dried ancho chilies because of the power of suggestion. I get a little Play-Doh on the nose, a little brown sugar, a little oak. It is not an enjoyable whiskey for me, but I will go ahead and tell you that I'm not getting the majority of the notes. So those notes weren't super helpful for me, and my Play-Doh note will not be helpful to you. So in an honest review, if I were to do this, I would take time to smell, taste, and try to find out what would be the most valuable to the viewer or the reader so that they could enjoy the whiskey. And that would be a little bit problematic for me for one like this, but I would do my best to kind of parse through what I'm smelling and tasting until I can get some reasonable tasting notes that would add some level of information to the person that's going to enjoy that whiskey. So, but with that, we'll move on to the next one. This one's really good. This is Angel's Envy Cider Cask. It's not, once again, this is not a video about go find these bottles. It's just notes that I found online that were really crazy, and I happen to have the bottles. So this one I got in 2022 or 23 in a trip in Kentucky. Angel's Envy Ice Cider Casks. It's one of their limited editions, and it's a really enjoyable pour, but the notes were kind of wild, so we're going to go ahead and dig into these notes. Once again, I'm going to look down. So we have baked apple tart, cinnamon sugar pie crust, orchard blossom honey, and autumn leaves. So a couple cool things here is baked apple tart, decent note, could have just been apple. Cinnamon sugar pie crust probably could have just been cinnamon and sugar, right? Instead of that, you didn't have to add the pie crust. If it's pie crust, they may be getting at that graham cracker flavor profile, that biscuity flavor profile potentially. So it's not the worst note I've ever heard. And then orchard blossom honey. Once again, I get that, like, if you're got bees that are eating raspberries, bees that are eating blueberries, that those flavor profiles are going to impart on the honey. Not a lot of people have tasted every type of honey, so it's okay to say floral, some sort of floral flavor, and then honey. I think it's okay to separate and parse those out and be a little bit more relatable to people. But once again, that's kind of being a little bit nitpicky. Autumn leaves is the one I don't get. I hope they're talking about smell. I don't think people are eating autumn leaves. But once again, autumn leaves smell if they're wet, damp, if they're not. I don't know. There's just not a lot there for me to pull from. So it's an odd note. I don't think I'm going to get autumn leaves from this, but we'll give it a shot. So it's a beautiful nose. I get apple. I really do, from the cider casks. I get some cinnamon, I get some sugar. I don't know that it's actually what I'm getting. I get a little power suggestion going on, but I do get that cinnamon spice, and I definitely have a sweetness to the nose. I don't know what I would describe it as, but it's definitely sweet. And then I do get a little honey. And honey is a very common note that I get. I don't know the science behind honey, if it's just, once again, a relatable note, a sweet note with a little bit of floral nature to it that we're pulling from in our brain to describe what we're smelling and tasting. Unlike almonds, cherries, those ones that we talked about, those are very, very deeply rooted in science. I don't know about honey, but I am getting honey. Absolutely not getting autumn leaves. Not even close. But once again, I'm not a professional, so I've been doing it for a long time, but I obviously haven't trained my palate enough to get autumn leaves. So let me taste it. Oh man, fantastic. So once again, decent notes, but they could have been dialed back a little bit and probably would have been a little bit more informative to the viewer or reader or the person trying to purchase the product. Okay, so I'm back. Yeah, like I said, I am not a professional. Battery died in the middle of the video. So Hopefully you're still sticking around with this amateur hour, but let's go ahead and get back at it. I wanted to give some credence to the fact that there are people out there that can pick up the notes that I'm talking about. They are professionals. They've put a lot of time, energy, and work into being able to train their palate and their nose to pick up those flavor profiles. They literally will take spices and they'll smell through them and taste through them, and then they'll do the same with the whiskeys or the bourbons, and they do all kinds of things. And they really do a lot of work to train their palate to have remarkable recall of flavors. And that's awesome. And I have more power to them, because all these notes that I'm talking about are going to have a lot of value to them. But I'm not really speaking to them. The majority of the people that are watching this and the majority of the people that enjoy whiskey aren't able to pull out the notes at that level. There are varying degrees of people's ability to understand what they're smelling and tasting, and it ranges drastically. I've obviously trained my palate quite a bit over the years, so I can taste a little bit and smell a little bit more than the average person, but I'm still nowhere near a professional person that's been doing it for 2 decades, right? So you fall somewhere on that spectrum. And that's all I wanted to talk about, is the fact that these tasting notes are not required to enjoy whiskey. There are people that can taste some of them, there are people that can taste most of them, and there are people that can taste none of them. And anywhere you are on that spectrum is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. So what did we learn? Science backs the basics: caramel, cherry, oak, vanilla, a few others. The rest, probably creative writing. So don't let a label inform how you taste your whiskey. Trust your palate. If you've stuck around till now, hit that subscribe button. I got tons more coming. I appreciate each and every one of you, but until the next one, cheers.